I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 6:03. I'm Mary Ewald Sales. To the right of me is Ashley Meyer, Lorelei Dorr, and Mary Ann Lawrence. I thank all of you for being here tonight. Going down the agenda, is there an approval for the minutes or a motion for the approval of the minutes from the October 8th meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Moving on down the agenda for public comments on a non-agenda item. Is there anyone here with a comment on a non-agenda item? Please step to the podium, state your name for the record, and then make sure you speak in the microphone so when they do the minutes, they have the recording.
Good evening, Historic District Commission, Madam Chair and staff. My name is Joe Frost. I am a historic preservationist through and through. I went to Ball State University with a master's in historic preservation, and before that went to Michigan State. My wife is a longtime born and raised here in Bay City, and in 2020 we decided to move back to Bay City to put down our roots. My presentation this evening, brief presentation, is to just let you know that I exist. So my business is the Michigan Historic Window Company, where I restore historic windows and bring them back to life. And I've got an example here, and it kind of demonstrates the overall process of a window restoration start to finish. Historic windows, as you know, are character-defining features in our properties that are designated here in Bay City and other historic districts across the state. And these historic character-defining features really exemplify the craftsmanship, the wealth that our community had in its earlier years, and certainly are elements of our properties that should go forward in time. A client I have downstate in the Romeo area is from 1836, and we had a deep conversation about what I was selling and how I was not just selling window restoration, but indeed stewardship to ensure that those windows, about from the 1850s, would still be viable so that his great-grandchildren could look through the same windows that his ancestors. I should mention in that case, the property owner is a direct descendant of the original 1830s owners. And so in some ways, historic preservation and truly window restoration can transcend time. The windows that I touch, feed my kids, right? And these windows 120 years ago or 150 years ago were feeding children as they were being built as well. And I know that's very sentimental, but it demonstrates the power of preservation and the power of preservation trades. So again, without belaboring the point, I just wanted to let the commission know that the Michigan Historic Window Company is right here in the Center Avenue district. A little bit later on in this meeting, you're going to discuss a project that I am actually going to restore that window now. And I'll let Terry give you those details later in the meeting. But thank you for your time. Thank you, staff. And, I look forward to continuing the work of preservation here in Bay City and Mid-Michigan.
Now, did you give Terry your contact information?
Yes, Terry has my
Okay, thank you very much for
You can
that.
look me up on Facebook, Michigan Historic Windows, or Instagram. I think it's better on Instagram because the pictures look better. But, I've been doing window restoration for 8 years on the side. And this year I scaled up to a full-time operation.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate that. You look good. Moving on down the agenda to old business. Is there any old business for us, Terry?
Nothing actionable, no.
Okay, moving on down the agenda to HDC case 25-26, 2145 Fifth Street. I was made aware that they are not going to be present. However, in looking over the application, it did not appear that it was anything truly more than a repair, and that everything was going to be painted to match the existing and will be of the same size. So I'm not sure there really is a lot that we would need maybe to have discussion about with the applicant. Does anyone else feel differently? Are there any comments, or is there a motion to approve?
I just wanted to clarify with them, or Terry, if you know the answer, that the deck boards would be similar in size, and that when they rebuild that column, or columns, that they're replicating the originals exactly as they exist now.
That's what they had stated they would do, correct, is that just duplicate everything as shown in those photos.
Okay, so, yeah, I was going to say, let's make sure we get that in a motion.
Okay. Is someone then willing to move that we grant a certificate of appropriateness to authorize that work?
I move that the Historic District Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness for the work described and depicted by the work review application for case HDC 25-26. The applicant has demonstrated the work will comply with the U.S. Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation 1 through 6, 9, and 10, as well as Section 6411C of the city's Historic Preservation District regulations, and just clarifying that conditions of their approval include an exact replication of their existing columns and deck boards.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Terry, if you can just follow up with them for that. Moving on down the agenda, HDC case 25-28, 1908 Center. Are the applicants here?
This is the case that, quick story, what happened is Lisa, without our community development planner, had been assisting with the HDC packet. All the stuff was kind of packaged up together, and I was reviewing it, seeing the request for the window on Center Avenue, and kind of hated to see that type of window that was going to have internal muttons on it, and for that front-facing, on the front facade, I thought, boy, I wonder if they had looked at alternative methods. So actually, when I was out in the field on the day that I was delivering the packet, I had stopped and talked to the property owners. After a long discussion, he did agree to have a contractor that I had suggested, because I know Michigan Historic Windows. I know Mr. Frost from his previous employment working at the Michigan MEDC. So oftentimes when city staff would attend some of these development project meetings, we're there as staff to talk about OPRAs. Mr. Frost would be there to talk about any tools that economic development might have. So anyway, I knew that he was in town, had this restoration business, and I had asked Mr. Miller if he'd be willing to have somebody come take a look at the window to see if it was still salvageable. Mr. Frost had contacted Mr. Miller, made a visit. They came here tonight, but because they are going to make every attempt to restore the window, then it would fall under the maintenance category, and then Mr. Frost, Joe, will continue to work with Mr. Miller, and the hope is that that window will have a full restoration and hopefully some energy-saving components added, because he was concerned about that too, and then in the end, keep the window. So they left, or Mr. Miller left, knowing that it wasn't a case for the HDC, it's now just a maintenance.
That's fantastic. I was hoping this is the case you were referring to, because I had mixed emotions about this one, I'll admit it.
So my question is, so it doesn't look like we just let it fall off, the rail. do we need to just table that?
I
Or to
would consider it
postpone.
withdrawn,
Okay.
because he's no longer doing the work that
Okay.
he was proposing,
Okay.
so we'll just withdraw it.
Motion to withdraw, case HDC 25-28.
Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Let the minutes reflect that the motion, or that the application has been withdrawn, and that restoration is the intent at this time. And I'm hoping that we can get to a picture maybe later when it's done to see it, so maybe we can show that to other people as well.
Exactly, a good example.
So thank you very much. Moving on down to case HDC 2530, 2025 Fifth Street. Are the homeowners present? Okay. If one of you or all three of you could step to the podium and introduce yourselves.
My name is Ryan Wegner. This is Jessica Ness, my wife.
And your supervisor?
That'd be Layla. Yeah, we are looking to replace our front door. It's kind of been over time falling apart, and there's gaps at the bottom. Especially in these colder months, you can definitely feel the wind coming right in, cutting right through it. And we're just seeking approval to have the door replaced.
Kind of an odd front door. It looks like, and this is just because I think it's odd, that it looks like, it's like there used to be a light in it and they like boxed it in. Is that what it looks like to you up close?
Exactly what it looks like. Like they pulled the trim out that would hold glass in there, and they just put a quarter sheet of. Seems like they just put like a quarter sheet of wood in there, painted it, and then left that little window.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not crazy. I'm like, that's what that looks like. That's weird.
Yeah.
So the one that you are looking to put in its place is the one that has the 4 sections of glass on the top?
Correct.
Okay, and then the storm door beneath it. There was something that I read, and I think it said like retractable door. I didn't, maybe I was looking at the,
Just looking to replace the main door and
the storm.
door. That's it.
Yep, okay, okay.
So really that, your replacement is closer, to what the door originally looked like than what it looks like now.
Does anyone have are there any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, is there a motion to grant a certificate of appropriateness?
I move that the Historic District Commission, excuse me, I'm sorry, approve a certificate of appropriateness for all work described and depicted by the work review application for case HDC 25-30 submitted by the applicant. The applicant has demonstrated the work will comply with U.S. Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation 1 through 6 and 9, as well as Section 64-11C of the city's Historic Preservation District regulations.
Second?
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Good luck with your project. You'll probably see
much.
energy savings there, too.
Required, yep.
Okay. All right, moving on down the agenda to HDC case 25-31, 1001, Center Avenue. And they are looking for approval of an accessible ramp. Hi, if you could introduce yourself, sign in, and then walk us through your project.
I feel like we keep doing this.
I mean, this is my 4th time here,
Poor girl.
not with the HDC. 1 second. Getting very familiar with this one. Yeah, that girl again. I'm just taking up all the employee funds.
Only the faces change and the names to
Yeah.
protect the innocent.
Well,
yes.
and the personalities. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Obviously, you all have my applications. I'm looking to turn 1001 Center Avenue into an 8-bedroom boutique bed and breakfast. There is a special use permit that's been granted for this project. The ZBA has granted a variance for the parking regarding the site. And our last little hurdle is ensuring that this ADA ramp can be installed on the east side of the property. This is the most, I think personally, Joe will actually be restoring all the windows in the home. But aesthetically, I also believe this is the most convenient for the project, and guests will also, it just makes for a really nice flow from the parking in the back. The guests will come up the east side of the house, enter the front porch, and come through the front door. So I am requesting approval for that to be built.
I think this is the best, I mean, because I've seen quite a few versions of your plan now. I think this is the most sensical and the best flow of traffic and people. Like, when I saw it, I'm like, ooh, this is really good. And I'm glad that they approved your variance. That's great.
Yes, yeah. Well, great, I'm happy. I'm sure you've seen a lot of applications, so that's good. A lot of thought has already went into this, the site alone.
It's well done. I do have one question. It mentions that you're reusing the existing porch spindles as much as you can, right? Is that what I read?
Exactly, yeah, so the porch, like the balustrade that's currently there, that railing will kind of tie into the back. If you look at the one reference photo, you can kind of see the balustrade like on Center Avenue, and that ties around to the east side. So that would be the same balustrade coming down the ramp, and then of course there'd be a handrail with inside that.
So do you, I mean, that's obviously not enough to go down the entire ramp, I mean, as far as what's there already.
So replicated,
Okay, so I was gonna say, are you custom having that
yeah.
turned?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, even the dental molding on the house, I mean, there's a lot of exterior carpentry that's gonna have to be repaired and, you know, refurbished to match existing, so it would be the same for those
Okay, but
balustrades. So
it's all being custom to replicate exactly what exists.
yeah, exactly, just so it ties into what's there on the porch, that it's the same, it's a seamless run, like you see in that drawing there.
Personally, I'm glad to see that you're going to be doing something. A friend of mine, may she rest in peace, when they were kids, you know, they lived there, they roller skated in the basement
Wow.
and everything, and then moved to the home that was behind that when their grandfather, their dad, closed his physician office that was there. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Been in the home?
Oh, not in a million years, but I'm about a million, so.
When I went over to the Historical Society Rose, I don't know if you guys are familiar, she said I think her sister maybe was a nanny for the children who lived there, and she lived on the 3rd floor for a long time.
I grew up right on the other side of the block. My parents live
Oh.
on Sherman. They're that big white house right there.
Yeah.
So I grew up around the corner. I was really glad when you started doing these applications, because I'm like, finally, somebody's gonna do something that sat vacant for so long.
I mean, there was just a large emotional connection with Peter Franz, who currently still owns the house. So we're finally at a level where he's like, okay, the next
great.
person can, yeah.
Glad to see it.
Yeah.
Somebody coming and loving it again.
Yeah, it's an amazing house. Yeah.
Are there any other questions for the applicant? You know, they were all friends with Ulysses Grant, just to FYI.
Really? Wow. The Tuppers? I know they were large Republicans, and they were like very active in the Republican Party. Yeah, just the history and stuff I've read on them. Interesting. she, wow. Mary, I'll have to pick your, what other
You hang around with the wrong people.
I guess I do, just my parents.
I would love to pick your brain after this, not tonight.
So is there a motion to grant or to authorize a certificate of appropriateness?
I happily move that the Historic District Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness for all work described and depicted by the work review application for case HDC 25-31 submitted by the applicant. The applicant has demonstrated the work will comply with the U.S. Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation 1 through 6, 9, and 10, as well as Section 6411C of the city's Historic Preservation District regulation.
Thank you so much.
Is there support? Okay, it's been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. You can follow up with Terry for anything else. So good luck with your project. Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on down the agenda to other business. Terry, do you know of or do you have any other business to bring to the committee?
Yeah, a couple of things. At the last meeting, there was mention about the house on North Monroe that had its steps removed. We did follow up with that. The person was transitioning, expected to come to the HDC, but he was told that, make sure that you go through the right steps. So I believe we have an application for December where that will be coming. And then Mary Ann had sent an email about 206th Street, or 2006th Street, which is of interest because that is the one house that the city had issued a notice to proceed expecting that it was going to be demoed. But that house was somehow purchased, and the new owner is making improvements. One of the first things they did was some work to the foundation. I looked at the file. There was some previous foundation work done in 2014 that was signed off on as just kind of maintenance. So the 2025 foundation repair was handled the same way as maintenance, but I talked to Sue Coggin and she reassured me that she has numerous times told the property owner, you're in the historic district, the windows, some attention does have to be done to the windows because it's a code violation, and that an application would be required, and the property owner was aware of it. So my indication is I'll wait on an application. We'll have to keep an eye on it. The person was definitely informed about the windows having to come before the HDC.
Terry, what was the address for that
It
property?
was 2006th Street. It was the house that's on the south side of 6th Street. It's alongside of a bungalow style house. And then it's just to the west of that nicely painted bungalow style house. And it was a dilapidated house. Sue had brought it to the HDC, I believe, even twice, because she had a demolition, and then I know Ashley had questioned about the condition of it when Sue was present at the meeting, and then it seems to me there was some time that had expired, and then Sue, I believe, brought it back again as a notice to proceed, but then in the interim, this person purchased it and had obtained the building permit for the foundation. So that's the best that I have right now, other than keeping an eye on it to make sure that any correspondence that Sue sends out regarding that property maintenance, that that person knows for sure that they have to come before the HDC. Another property that I had to go do a site visit was 920 Van Buren. They actually have 3 porches on that house, a back porch, a small side porch, and then a full front porch. A situation where, proper maintenance wasn't done over the years, which has now resulted in, the work having to be done. It started as a work without a permit, but we did catch it soon enough. So now I'm working with him to get a submission for the December meeting, because that work needs to be done too. So, and then lastly, our community development planner will be starting November 24th, which is the Monday before Thanksgiving. So I'll be spending a lot of time, getting some training to them, and going over and going through the historic district. And so I look forward to having that staff person available. That's my update.
I had spoken with Sue Coggin, and I looked in my phone, and I guess I can't find the pictures now. There is the house, and I believe it is 608 North Monroe Street, about 2 houses up from the one where they tore the porch steps off. I had talked to her about issues that were going on. Initially, there's no water, no heat. People are still living there, and they are still living there. I believe I have put the end to them, and they're stealing my water and electricity. But the house belongs to Ed Sherpinski, and evidently where his office is on North Monroe, on the other side of Center, and this house, they were both in foreclosure, but they weren't selling them separate. They were going to group them together, sell them separate, but they had to have a certain minimum, I guess, to cover all the stuff. I don't know what happened to that, but there are still people living in there with no heat and no utilities. So my question is, if the homeowner is the same, why can we not take care of this in some manner? And if ownership has changed, who is the owner and who do we follow up with? Because we cannot have these people living here through the winter with no heat and no water.
And can I ask what Sue's reply was, or what she had said?
Well, she was very nice about it, but the thing that she said was, we really need to wait and see what happens in court in October. So it's been a couple weeks now, so I'm assuming that whatever occurred now has been documented and signed off on by whatever judge was hearing that. So I'm hoping that we can find out what is going on there.
Yeah, I can email you that information, because like you said, there should be notes in there from that court case, unless it was delayed or postponed, but I would be able to.
Well, and what I don't know is if they didn't meet their minimum, because they wanted like 200 and, I don't know, 60, 80,000 for like the whole, to clean up the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Total. So, I mean, I would buy the one, but I'm not paying $200,000 for something that has to get torn down.
Right, yep. Okay, I can look into that property.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have to have utilities and have a,
And Sue did tell me that you can't go in there to inspect the property because it's not due for an inspection yet.
yeah, I mean, obviously, we have records to utility usage, so if,
Right, and I've been down there, and initially mine hadn't, so I think I probably caught them at the very beginning. And then I've, found the hose they had snaked under and around and whatever, so that,
okay, yep, I can email you back. Now, tomorrow, I've got the full day tomorrow, then I'm going to be off Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, so if I don't get to it tomorrow, it'll be next week. Yep.
Is there anything else to come up, or is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned at 18:35.
All right, thank you. I'll go shut that.